It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Anna Marie College head softball coach Dr. Lawrence Sasso. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brandon. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching at college softball?
Yeah, heard about an opening at the college, actually for baseball. I've always been a baseball coach and went up there to interview with the athletic director and quickly found out that the baseball job, they hired somebody already, but there was an opening in softball. So I had mixed feelings. But after meeting with this athletic director, he had a really great reputation, very a transformational leader himself. After probably about an hour, I think I would have probably coached any team at that point. I just wanted to work under his leadership, but I'm so glad that it worked out.
What was that experience like for you coming from obviously being in the Marine Corps to getting into college coaching?
Yeah, I think the Marine Corps helped me a lot, not only as a softball coach, but working with people, organizational skills, motivating people, really to get people to believe that they can accomplish so much more. Going into a boot camp as a 20-year-old civilian and graduating as United States Marine is one of my most honorable things that I've ever done in my life, the most challenging, I should say. So I just felt like that experience would help me working with people going forward, especially as a softball coach. I want my players to know that if they work hard and they believe in what we want to do and what they want to accomplish individually, that they can get it done.
For you, what was that transition like going from being a Marine to getting into coaching college softball?
The transition was pretty simple, an easy transition because I've always enjoyed working with other people. I've always enjoyed watching people develop and become something, that they probably never thought they could be, and also to see them accomplish goals that before you met them, maybe they didn't think they could do that, accomplish those type of goals. And when the mission, if you will, is done, and you see what these players can accomplish later on, it's gratifying.
For you, what was that feeling like the first time you got to step onto that softball field as a head coach at Anna Marie?
Yeah, I'll never forget that moment. I mean, the passion of these young ladies, both teams, the softball diamond, it was the thing that was most surprising to me was the energy and the passion from the first pitch till the last pitch, from the chanting, the teams, their passion, their energy, their drive. I'll never forget it. From that point on, it just seems to get better.
As a head coach, what has it been like building your roster and building your coaching staff around you?
That was one of the reasons that I really appreciated the opportunity, because pretty much the athletic director at the time, back in June 9th, 2017, when he offered me the job, the keys were mine: fundraising, recruiting, the field, improvements on the field, like I said, recruiting, coaching, everything, hiring a staff. That was the part that I really appreciated the most, the opportunity to have the ability and the freedom to do that, to run the whole organization.
Being a head softball coach for the first time, what was that experience like going out on the road recruiting those collegiate athletes?
Yeah, I love recruiting. I've been in sales all my life in the insurance and financial business, being an entrepreneur. To me, recruiting is just like prospecting in business. It's like if I'm not coaching, I'm recruiting, and if I'm not recruiting, I'm coaching. And if I'm not doing any of those two, I'm working on building my business and helping people with their retirement planning. But recruiting is awesome. I'm talking to young ladies from all over, not the country, all over the world. I traveled to the West Coast as far as California, Las Vegas, down to Georgia, all of New England. Recruiting is just great. You get to meet so many people, so many parents, so many families, and to meet young ladies who really love this game is just unbelievable to me when I speak to them and look in their eyes and I can see and feel the energy and the passion that they have for the game. It's just unbelievable. I love recruiting.
What does a typical game day look like for you as a head coach versus for your players?
Yeah, like I tell our players, the game day really begins like the day before. I'm scouting the team that we're playing the night before even more closely than I've already done, watching video and all that, doing the lineup back and forth. Who can I put at this position? Who should pitch? Looking at every dynamic of the game so that our player can be successful and ultimately the team could be successful. But from the very going into the next morning, the lineup's already set the night before pretty much. The game day, making sure the field's good to go. And then even in the pregame, when our assistant coaches are doing infield, outfield, fly balls, ground balls, if a coach comes up to me and says, you know what, uh, number 19 or 20, whatever, seems to be struggling out there today, then I might even have to make a change in the lineup that day. So it starts literally probably 24 hours prior and making sure that everything's good to go. But once we get to the field, we get there at least an hour and a half prior to the game. We stretch out, we have batting practice, and all the other preliminary things that we need to do to be ready.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against each week?
Some of the teams.
Hmm.
Yeah, throughout all of New England, we play Regis College, we play Simmons, Emmanuel out there in Boston, play teams up in New Hampshire, Riviera University, teams from Connecticut, St. Joseph, Connecticut. But we're in the Great North Atlantic Conference, so we're playing teams all from New England, and it's a great conference.
What is that home game atmosphere like when some of those big teams in your conference come to your home facility?
Yeah, though it's challenging. We love the opportunity to compete against the best, the bigger teams. We're only going to get better if we can compete against the bigger teams. And this is going to be my seventh year. I feel like this is the year that we really should see. I call it like a takeoff. We've been growing and growing and taking steps forward, and a couple setbacks with COVID-19, obviously, that slowed us down a little bit. But I just love the opportunity to play all the teams in our conference. There's some incredible competition. We've had some really tight games, one-run game, extra inning games. That wasn't the case 7 years ago. Just the opportunity to have a chance at the end to defeat any opponent is what our goal is, to be in every game, to make the plays. But we just love the opportunity.
What have been some of the things that you've been able to accomplish as a head coach?
Some of the things that I've been able to accomplish with my coaching staff, of course, is the recruiting part, helping students, young ladies, to get to college and for them to complete their college studies and to graduate. Before we even talk about the failed accomplishments, it's seeing our student athlete come to a college that they believe in from all parts of the world, like I said, Canada, West Coast, all of New England. Um, to see them come to school, believe in the coach, believe in the program, believe in the studies, the academics, to see them graduate is really what it's all about. But on the field, to see players hit home runs or make plays that they've never thought they could make and see the team really gel together. No, we haven't won any championships at this point, but our teams individually, our players have gotten better. Their confidence level, they're ready to graduate from college and go into the world, and start their careers knowing that they worked with other people, they worked really hard. I'm all about preparation. So I want our players to know that it's all about preparation for coaches, for players, going on job interviews, going to work every day. I feel like the accomplishments of seeing that freshman student athlete come to our school just like I said, a civilian going to boot camp and then ultimately graduating from our college with a diploma, or just seeing the transformation and thinking back of what they were like when I first met them and to see them graduate, that just really touched my heart.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build for the program?
The culture with this team, it resonated real quickly, real soon, I should say, back in 7 years ago. The culture is all about preparation, hard work, trust, working together, family. It's all about family. We look out for each other on and off the field. We're in contact with each other 12 months of the year, even though we play in the spring here. But the culture is everyone's going to work together. Everyone's going to prepare together and support each other, because softball is a great game. You may not be in the game the first 6 innings of the game, or even the seventh inning, and you get an opportunity to pinch run, and another player gets the opportunity to get up there and pinch hit and put a bunt down, and you get the scoring position, then you score the winning run. That doesn't happen unless you prepare for those situations. So each player in our team is about the group, the team. It's all about team.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective softball players out there?
Yeah, the recruiting is 24/7, 7 days a week. Like I said, I enjoy recruiting. This year is our largest recruiting class. I'm proud to say I have 15 new players on campus, right? 13 freshmen, one return player, and also a transfer player that came over. So the recruiting process is ongoing. We use computers, drip marketing campaigns, sending emails out. It's about me visiting different parts of the country, going to showcases like I will be going to in 2 weeks. I get invited to so many different showcases. And if I can pull it off, if I can be there, I'm going to be there. And if I can't, I do my best to try to watch the showcases on the computer, live stream. I'm in touch with the coaches, the umpires. So recruiting is very exciting to me, because it's unlimited. In high school in our area, you're not allowed to recruit. So when I left that high school arena and I was in college, like Larry, you can start recruiting. I just love that part of recruiting, because it's open game. You're in touch with everybody, and there are really no barriers. You can just recruit wherever you want.
As a head coach, going to those showcases, what are some of the things that you look at in those prospective student athletes while in those showcases?
Yeah, when I go to those showcases, a wise man who is a professional assistant general manager in Major League Baseball, and when I was coaching Legion, American Legion Baseball, he got to speak to our whole league, and he said, you know what? When I go look for Major League ball players, I show up at the field in the pregame, and I watch the body language in the pregame and the preparation and like I said, the body language and the energy. So I always remember that. I like to go to the fields early on. Sometimes I won't even let a player know that I'm going to be there. I want to see what their work ethic, what their body language is like prior to the game. Are they having fun out there? Are they loose? Are they working hard? Are they are they catching the ball fundamentally sound? Are they throwing the ball? All those little mechanics. Sometimes you don't even have to watch the game. You can tell a lot about a player just in the pregame.
What does that official visit look like for those prospective softball players coming to Anna Marie?
When we have a recruit come to our campus, it's a big event. Like, I invite our captains, sometimes more of our team members will show up. I want that student athlete to know they're special. The fact that they left their home to come to our campus and even give us a look, we make that is a big event. And many times I'll go on the tour with them. I'll meet with their parents. We're very engaged, and I want them to get a real feel for the fabric of our campus and our community. So I want them to meet as many people as they can. I want them to see our school when we're in action, when students are in the classroom, if they want to do an overnight. One of the players that came here this year came to one of our games on the road last year, and she made an incredible statement to me later on when I asked her what was what helped her make the decision. She goes, Coach, when I came to a couple of your games, and the one that I learned the most about was when you guys were defeated one game. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, I love the way you handled the team and the way the team responded. Even though you guys didn't win, there was no yelling, there was no screaming. We were looking at, what can we do better for the next game? She came to the next game out in her part of the state, and we had a nice doubleheader sweep. And of course, she enjoyed that more, and so did I, and so did the team.
Of course, what is that like for those freshmen to get to put on that uniform for the first time?
Yeah, and I can speak on that more clearly right now because this year I know there was at least one or two players on this roster that maybe didn't get the time that they deserved in high school. So I always tell, I love freshmen, I love first year players because they really lift the bar of this team. Like we have 13 new players from Utah and all of New England and New Jersey, from all over the country that came here to play. And when I see them, when I spoke to them one on one with another captain or a coach with me to let them know that they made the roster, to see their reaction and how much they appreciate and the hard work that they put into it. There are many things that really touch my heart coaching. That's one that really stands out that I know maybe in high school things didn't work out the way they wanted them to, but they came here. There were no preconceived notions. We're going to give you a shot. They tried out and they were great. And now they're on a college team, and it's just great to see. I get a lot of energy watching that happen.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen put on that uniform for the first time and your seniors putting it on for the last time?
Yeah, for the freshmen, it's so easy for me to handle because it's like this is going to be a great career. They're excited, the families are excited, and it's just really cool to see that happen. For the seniors, it's bittersweet, if you will. It's their last game. They're putting their jersey on. I'm having memories, and I'm sure they are of what they were like the first day they got here. And we reminisce about stories prior to the game when we really honor our seniors. We have a senior day. But it's great to see them graduate, to get a diploma, to move on. But I'll tell you, it hurts because they become part of the family, like I said. And pretty much every one of our seniors that graduate, I always offer them an opportunity to come back, be with the team, in many cases to join the coaching staff, like one of our assistant coaches, Sabi. She played for me a few years ago. She was just a great leader, a great player. And so many times we don't let go. They're still in touch. They're part of the alumni. And but it's like I said, it's bittersweet. It's great to see them accomplish the goals that they wanted to accomplish, but it's tough to say goodbye.
What is that like, obviously, seeing those first time freshmen get those, maybe, let's say, first home runs or first base versus your seniors getting those last home runs and last career points?
Yeah, and I'll say that when a first year player, for example, gets their first base hit or their first double or their first triple or home run, I'm sure to go in the dugout, tap them on the cap and say, "Great job, your first college NCAA Division III home run. What a great accomplishment that is." I want them to know that that is a huge accomplishment. So yeah, any type of milestone or like I said, things like that, we acknowledge that. We want them to know it's special because it really is. And I always tell our players, don't take it for granted. Like enjoy the moment. Play this inning like it's your last inning. Play this game like it's your last game. And from the first huddle of the first game, I remind them, these seasons go by so fast. Don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted because there's no worse feeling for me than that last huddle, the last game of the year, right? And you can see it in their eyes. They're like, "Oh no, we don't want this to end." But it's all about enjoying that moment. I call it hashtag make every day count because you don't know about tomorrow. You don't know about next inning. We've had some kids get injured in a game. They're out for 2, 3 weeks at a time. So we want our players to know that when you're on that field at that particular moment, don't take it lightly. Just enjoy the moment and strive for your best.
What is that like as a coach, getting to see your players go on and play professionally, whether it's in the MPF or Athletes Unlimited, or even going into coaching like you have?
That's what it's all about, right? Transforming and helping these young ladies to mature and start their careers. Some go into coaching, some start their careers right away. Whatever it may be, whatever they want to accomplish, I'm always going to be there to support them. It might be goodbye as far as a coach player relationship, but now we become friends. We become, in many cases, colleagues. We're in touch with each other. The alumni hear from different student athletes. I'll run into them in the community, but I'm going to be there for them whenever, if they need a reference. Um, Nothing makes me happier than being in the community, out to dinner, for example, with the family, and I run into a former player. The fact that she says hi to me and shakes my hand, that's what it's all about. I just want to be the good role model to help these young ladies to know that anything is possible if they work hard and they believe in themselves. Surround yourselves with good people.
What are some of your future plans for the softball program at Anna Marie?
Future plans, we have a lot of things that we're planning. Right now, we're looking forward to going to Florida. In the near future, I'm working on possibly going down outside the country into Aruba for spring training. We're always trying to do something more to energize our team, especially in the recruiting process, letting players know that we go down to Fort Myers, Florida for spring training in March when it's really cold up here in New England, many times snowy. So we're working on things, for example, maybe a press box on the field, maybe a turf field, working on the facilities surrounding the field. But as far as our players go, I want them to know we're always looking at something like to improve the program, whatever it may be, new uniforms, new spring training location, maybe mixing up the pregame rituals or the workout training, whatever we have to do to keep them inspired and motivated.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year of college softball?
I'm sorry, Brandon.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year?
I know this answer it comes to me quickly because I love doing it. My advice to them, I was on the phone yesterday with a freshman in our fall ball. She was outstanding. My advice to her was don't be surprised. Don't don't feel guilty when you're out there a lot, when you're on the field, when you're a starter, when you're a game changer. You deserve it. It's going to be tough for some players, maybe who don't get on the field as often as others. But if you're on the field, don't take it lightly. Don't look over your shoulder. Make the best of that moment. And you deserve it. If you're out there, you deserve it. I tell our team every year that freshmen are our best friends. Why? Because they raise the bar. We're bringing in some really talented freshmen. In our sophomore, juniors, and seniors and graduate players, they know there are no guarantees for that particular season. That if we bring in, for example, 13 new freshman players this year, first year players, for the freshmen, I want them to know I'm your best friend because you know what? There's no seniority on this team. If you're a freshman and you're a better second baseman than our senior or graduate, you're going to be our second baseman. And so our freshmen and their families know they have an opportunity to make an impact on this team right away. And they can be that game changer sooner than later. But once you get that opportunity, don't let it slip away because it's a constant battle, right? They're competing every day to keep that position. And you never want to look over your shoulder. You want to be working hard to keep that spot on the field.
What advice would you give those college softball players out there looking to go play professional softball, whether it's Athletes Unlimited or the MPF?
I just say, you know what? If that's what you want to do, if you work really hard, just keep your sights on that goal. I never tell a student athlete or a softball player, oh, maybe Division One's not for you, because we hear these stories every day, right? When people tell you, well, you'll never be able to accomplish that. I want them to know that I'm going to be there to support them. And I say surround yourself with people that you want to emulate, that you want to get to that level. If you want to be a Olympic softball player, then your parents or somebody's gonna start you off at a young age. But if you didn't start out at a young age, it's gonna take a lot of work, but it can be done. So find a role model, find a coach, find a program, a travel team, an AU, go to the camps, whatever you can do to improve your ability gives you that opportunity to get closer to that dream.
What advice would you give those players out there looking to get into college coaching after their playing career?
My advice is stay in touch with the game, networking, volunteer in the community, coach in your community, maybe a junior softball team or a travel team. Get involved on a high school team. Maybe you're the fourth assistant coach. I've been an assistant coach more than I've ever been a head coach, and that's why this opportunity just means the world to me because I think that experience working, you're going to work with good coaches and bad coaches. And I think it's important you get the experience from both perspectives so you know what you don't want to be like. It's not always about what can I do to be successful. What are some of the things you you don't want to do that can kind of not be effective for a team. That emotional intelligence, working for people, knowing the mechanics, working with people. But I think the mechanics of this game, the fundamentals of softball, they're the same as baseball. I tell our players, you need to be able to throw the ball, field the ball, hit the ball, but it's the softball IQ, I call it. That's the separation point. Like you could have the physical ability to compete, but you understand the game. Do you have the traits and the skills to react quickly when a play happens? Do you know the game? Do you know how it works? Do you know the infield fly rule? Those type of things.
What advice would you give those future head coaches out there that are looking to build their own program and build their own softball legacy?
My advice is just looking back in my 35 years of coaching now, my advice is, yeah, there's going to be times that you're going to be probably ready to give up. Like, when am I going to get this head coaching job? Or if you want to be a coach, college coach, it's not going to come easily. There's a lot of competition out there. You have to be the best you can be. And I go back to make every day count. When I didn't have this coaching job, I was an assistant. I was just thinking about what can I do today to make me a better coach for tomorrow, to know the game. Right now, I'm really focused on pitching softball. What can our pitchers do better than we've done in the last 6 years? So it's about studying the game, studying the fundamentals. I watch a lot of college softball on TV. I go to a lot of fields, and it's not just college. I love to watch high school games, even the younger travel teams. I love watching them. And the common theme that I see, no matter what level, is the passion and the energy that these young ladies and these girls have on the field. So it's just staying focused on that.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find the Anna Marie softball program at on social media along with you?
With Anna Maria College and our social media, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a Twitter account, Instagram, Facebook. Our team has all kinds of stuff on social media. Myself as a coach, I use social media a lot to really for recruiting, for informational purposes. Like today, we just announced our spring training schedule down in Florida. Our school released it on Instagram and Facebook. But man, we're all over the place. I know the power of social media with my insurance and financial business. I certainly know it in the recruiting business that young adults, young ladies, they really they're engaged in social media, and I had to really educate myself more on the Instagram and things like that. So it's a powerful tool, but we can be seen all over the place.
Thank you again, Coach Lawrence Sasso, for your interview and best luck in your future as the head coach at Anna Marie College.
I'm sorry, Brandon, we had a little, I couldn't hear that part.
Thank you again for your interview and best luck in your future.
For the future?
In your future, yes.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity, Brandon. Like I said, this is a great opportunity to coach people, young ladies who really love this game, and to see them from day one and then ultimately when they graduate across the stage with that diploma in their hand, or and hopefully a championship this year, or whatever it is that our goals are individually and as a team is what it's all about. And I just appreciate the opportunity that Anna Maria College here in central Massachusetts has offered me. And it's just a great experience, and it's fun to be a part of.
Thank you again. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Sasso, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Thanks, Brandon. Have a great day and Happy New Year.
You too.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.